this. Have you ever burned your foot with mashed potatoes?
No.
No, I literally just did, and it still hurts.
Minutes ago.
Yeah, I would say minutes. Yeah, I mean,
like less than an hour ago.
Yeah, easily less than an hour. Yeah, no, I was getting. My mom had made some meatloaf and stuff, and she brought some to work and gave it to me, and so I usually put it all in this big Pyrex container to heat it up in the oven because I'm not a microwave guy really.
Okay.
And I just was like getting it out and like scooping the mashed potatoes in, and this little tiny drop just fell on my foot. And then I was like, that's really hot. But then the heat just started to amplify. And now it's like, it literally like, yeah.
Is there a burn mark?
It's red. Yeah.
Dude, you got a blister?
I don't know if I'm going to have a blister yet, but goddamn mashed potatoes, man.
Mashed potatoes can be like molten lava.
They are. And it's like, I remember like just minutes before I put my finger, I opened up the oven to be like, is it ready? And I put my finger in the mashed potatoes. The center was cold. So apparently they just heat up super quick, but
put your finger in it just like Scary Movie 2.
Oh, what happened in Scary? Do they put fingers in mashed potatoes in Scary Movie 2?
No, in the cream pie.
Oh,
I think I saw that movie once in high school.
I think I saw that movie never. Yeah,
ridiculous.
Wrong crowd, I guess. I've seen that movie probably like at least a dozen times.
Yeah, I think I've never seen the first one. That was like a big like middle school sleepover movie or something that.
Absolutely. Was it 2 where it was like, this is your brain on drugs? Something. Yeah, that's definitely what I remember the most from Scary Movie 2.
Is that franchise still going? Because they went over to like Epic Movie and Disaster Movie. Did that franchise?
Yeah, I don't think it's still going. I mean, after Scary Movie 2 is done.
Yeah. Yeah, it pieced out.
It was all for cash grabs and it sucked.
Yeah. Oh, there's only 5. The 5th being in 2013. And that was the last one.
Starring Charlie Sheen.
Oh wow, did it? Oh wow, yeah. So let me tell you another funny thing about Charlie Sheen too. So this is one of my favorite pictures that I've ever seen. So at the Red Stadium, I guess there's a smoking section now, but back in the day, like if you got caught smoking there, they would punch a hole in your ticket, like with a hole puncher, to give you one warning. And if you got caught again, they asked to see your ticket. If you had a hole punched in it, you were out. That was and now they have a section, right?
Yeah, I don't even think I knew that. And I've been going to Reds games my whole life.
Well, that's what it was back when I was like in high school or early college or something like that. But there's this picture. So Charlie Sheen was at a Reds game, and he was, and I think it was like UK night. So John was there. And they took a picture together, and John posted it to like his Twitter or his Facebook. John Calipari, actually, to get you in on that, UK coach. And he has a picture with Charlie Sheen, and Charlie Sheen's got a drink in his hand and a cigarette lit up in the Red Stadium. like clearly, like not in a smoking section either, in the concourse or in the box, just not giving a fuck. Yeah, so yeah, I love that picture.
He's got tiger blood, man.
He does.
I'm sure it was probably right around that era as well when he was just like unhinged.
Oh yeah, I think that was like straight in the middle of that like tiger blood, like that whole like, public. Do you want to call it a meltdown?
No, it's Charlie Sheen. It's just Charlie Sheen being Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, it was him being himself,
Yeah.
What a boss.
Well, on that note. All right. Welcome to the Brainbuster Boys, episode 107. My name is Brett Jagger, along with the writer, Beaumont Rand.
The writer, the horse rider. What up? How's it going? How are we doing today?
Oh, I'm just fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm great.
Cool.
Just kicking the week off. I turned 35 this week.
Yeah, you do.
Which I forgot on Thursday. Yeah, which I forgot how old I was going to be. And there were a few days last week. I think on Friday too. I was talking about this at the Steely Name party. I was like, yeah, like, the entire week I was like, I'm going to be 36. And then I like remember thinking, I was like, oh, like, no, like do some basic math. 2023 minus 1988 when I was born, that's 35. So I guess it's a mild relief, but I mean, also weird that, I'm at the age where I'm just completely forgetting, What?
And you thought you were 35 already. So
Yeah. So
you're going backwards.
yeah.
Like Benjamin Button.
Oh yeah, like exactly. So
Yeah, how
yeah,
about
that was sort of a nice, nice little realization, but also
little early birthday gift, eh?
yes, a little early birthday gift, eh?
Well, you heard him laugh a second ago, and you heard him in the cold open. We are not alone today. We are joined by our good friend and fellow VGM, well, co-leader, I guess, from VFTR 2.0. And what was the goalpost? I can't remember the name of
View
the
from
other.
the top of the goalpost.
View from the top of the goalpost. There you go. You heard him there. It's Big Diesel. How you doing, brother?
Yeah. Yes, I come in peace, and I'm sure it is your boys' pleasure. So I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to have you. Yeah. It's good to have you.
It's been 7 episodes since the last time I've been on.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
You
You're
were
on,
here
you're on
for,
Hundo, yeah.
on Hyundai. Yeah, absolutely. And it had probably been a little while before that for sure. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before that, 2020 maybe, like back when we did your trip when you guys came up.
yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah,
would have
that
been
was
20. That was 21, right?
2021.
Oh, 21, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's all blur.
It really
Like
is.
he's saying he doesn't know what age he is. I don't even know what day of the week it is.
Yeah,
So
the world is fucked. But
Right.
hey, we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, glad to have you here with us. We are officially going to be resuming Vince and the Machine Part 2 of 5 next week,
For
attached
Double or
to our
Nothing, yeah.
Double or Nothing episode. So that is going to be action-packed, and be sure to be on the lookout for that.
Mhm.
But tonight, we're just going to be shooting the shit with Diesel, mostly just talking about last week's Dynamite, maybe a little WWE here and there. No CM Punk talk. I'm putting that out there right now. We're not talking about that motherfucker until he shows up on our television screen. So, yeah, Bo, you mentioned the Steely Dan party on Friday.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
What a wonderful, wonderful time that was. Our
Yeah.
friends Chris and Katie hosted a Steely Dan themed party, and we had ourselves a good old fashioned good one, did we not?
We did, yeah. And it was, multi-location. So it was at their house, and then it was at the Canary. The Canary Club. I keep calling it the Canary.
Club.
I keep calling it the Canary Lounge, but yeah, the owner of that was there, and we hung out in the
It was like a private room, but it felt like just someone's living room.
Oh, it did, yeah. It almost felt like a hotel room or an Airbnb.
Yeah,
It kind of had that sort
small.
of.
It was small, like where there wasn't like a bedroom or anything, but
lock the door.
Yeah.
Airbnb.
There were no sleepable couches. Like you couldn't pass out up there. It was pass out proof.
What about your Airbnb, Diesel, when we were all in Milwaukee, where you guys rented out the room of someone's house?
Yeah, that was insane. It was cheap.
Yeah,
I think it was like $40 a night or something like that. So
Yeah.
I couldn't beat the price. But
didn't the dog do something like shit or puke or something?
like
Yeah.
that.
I remember they left us. We had to babysit the dog at one point. We just kind of like tied it up in the back and left because we had plans with you guys. We had to go. I think we were going to the Brewer game that day.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It was definitely a weird experience just being in these strangers' house and like having to take a shit and shower. Like, dude, it was weird. It was definitely weird. At least they were nice enough. They didn't have central air, and it was hot that week. But
Oh my God, yeah. It was.
They put the air conditioning in our room, so I slept good.
Yeah, I'll never forget seeing you just bake in the sun at the Brewers game, just chugging an IPA that I bought.
Yeah. Oh, that terrible one, yeah. Well, and also like we were in the same position too because Tom, if you remember, gave us the room because he didn't have central air. I don't know if he still is in that same building, but like we slept we slept in his room, the only one that had the window unit in there, and him and his wife both slept in a hot room. So like what a amazing sacrifice by them to give us that room.
My sacrifice by Creed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Tom, what a guy.
Mm-hmm.
What a guy. Yeah, Diesel, how's your weekend? Did you get into anything fun?
Oh, it was actually my first wedding anniversary on Saturday.
Right. You just said that the same day as my parents' 40th wedding anniversary, as we just talked about. So yeah,
which is awesome. It's a good day. It's a good day for a wedding anniversary. It was actually the day that I met my wife too. So it was our 4 year anniversary of dating as well. So,
Oh, exciting!
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. So you got married on the same day that you started dating, however long. That's really cool.
Nice.
So 3 years later, we got married, and then so we went out to dinner at this place. My parents went there before. They didn't have like very good like reviews, but we decided to go there anyway. I should have listened to my parents. And 35, almost 35, like Bo, and I'm still like trying to rebel again. So like when my parents tell me it was like I had like I'm not even gonna say what it is just because I don't want to badmouth them, but like they had like their steak was not good. It was like rotten or something.
Oh, God. That is not a word I would want my steak to be described
like,
as. Or any food I'm going to eat, but really, God
my wife took like one bite and is like, nope, and like sent it back and like, oh, well, we'll give her
that bad.
else. And yeah, they ended up giving her some prime rib, which was better, but that wasn't great still. And it was really expensive for the crab that we got. So they gave me a cheesy hash brown casserole and they put cornflakes on it. And I'm like, that's okay if you're going to like a church picnic or something like that.
Yeah,
but not
a high-end restaurant.
Yeah, I'm just like, serious?
Well, isn't it ridiculous that places like that, somehow are able to stick around, that there's a clientele that like either likes that type of food or just still believes that they're going to go there and get something nicer,
That was pretty much the highlight of my weekend. So, I mean, it makes for a good story, and I'll never go back there. So,
well, you learn the lesson. Listen to the reviews and listen to your parents. Damn it.
Yeah, I'll probably never learn that lesson. But
well, happy anniversary to you, though, as well. Yes, we celebrated my parents yesterday. We had a nice brunch. And then went back to my brother's house for a little bit. And yeah, as I told you all off air, I got pretty drunk yesterday and was at this bar called the Crazy Fox, which was like my go-to. JCB in the comments. Hold on. There it is. Say the name of the restaurant. He said.
What's it rhyme with?
Not like we'd know it. Wait, what? Say it again.
Bomb turgs. That's what it rhymes with.
Bomb turgs. Okay.
No, it reminds with Crapplebees. It reminds me with what else could it be? Bo Charlie's or
Guy
Days. They have O'Charlie's in Washington? O'Charlie's actually pretty good. Guy Days.
Tutors.
I'll narrow it down. It's a supper club, but I mean, it's not really narrowing it down in Wisconsin because we have about like 800. So.
Hell yeah. Well, as I was saying, went to my old stomping ground of like really the last year when I lived up in Northern Kentucky, saw a bunch of people that I hadn't seen in a bit, and we tore it down. It was a beautiful day to be drinking on a patio yesterday, and I took it and ran with it for sure. So it was a bit of a slog this morning and driving back, but I'm obviously off today. So watched some Best of the Super Juniors, watched some DDT, gave out my 7th 5-star match of the year, Kazusada Higuchi versus Chris Brooks. Ooh, great shit there. I'd actually kind of fallen out of DDT after Higuchi lost the belt earlier this year, but man, that was a hell of a match. But Bo, I couldn't remember. Did we talk about Roman and Solo challenging for the tag titles on this show, or was that in person?
That is a really good question. It may have been no. I think it was in person.
I think it was Friday. Yeah. Yes, you're right. It was last Wednesday because you came over.
Yeah, we did.
I think that's what it was. So let's talk about that here, Diesel. How you're at least following WWE. I don't know if you're watching every week, but I know you're engaged.
Yeah.
Same here. Like I've pretty much watched Raw every week. SmackDown, I've definitely been watching more lately, but I did not catch this past week's. But so maybe you can. Did you watch SmackDown last week? Perhaps.
I did. Yep,
okay.
I did.
Any what developments happened with the bloodline situation here? Because I'm very intrigued by Roman and Solo challenging and the Usos reactions and what may happen if Roman and Solo indeed win that match. But any updates to the current situation that we missed?
yeah, really, Bloodline stuff was really like the only good stuff on SmackDown this week. But it started out with Roman and Solo and Paul Heyman in the ring with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and they were like basically having a back and forth. And Sami Zayn was telling Roman Reigns how he isn't even as good as the Usos. So how are they going to win the tag team championships, basically? And Roman Reigns was about to respond, but then the Usos came in and from behind and attacked the tag champs, and which pissed Roman off because he wanted to respond. And when he was all in like he was pissed off, and he turned around and he bumped into Solo, and like Solo gave him this look, and like it.
And I feel like they haven't really had any tension ever yet, you know? That's interesting. Yep. I'm definitely going to have to at least watch like the highlights, you know, the YouTube clip about this. But anything else, you know, after that?
Yeah, then the main event was the Usos versus. Oh man, I can't remember who they.
I can pull it up very quickly.
Well, basically, it was just like what they do with Roman watching the match from the back and all that stuff, and just kind of making you
Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar.
Oh yeah.
LWO.
That was a good match, and they LWO ended up getting the win because shenanigans, and I mean, it was Roman Reigns was pissed off, and I think he's going to be on SmackDown again this week, and. Well, I'm pretty sure because it's the night before Night of Champions. So it's always better when Roman's there, because it was like that month he wasn't. It was the same storyline like since like after WrestleMania. They just kept on doing the same thing with the Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So he's still kind of progressing, and
it's been a lot better since the rematch, like since KO and Sami beat him, because now the story is the fracture between the Usos and Roman Reigns, and where does Solo fit in here? So,
and I'm actually excited for the match. On Saturday.
I think it's going to be very intriguing and probably very good.
I mean, I'm actually thinking that Roman Reigns and Solo are going to win.
I think I think that is the more interesting, you know, if we're sticking with this bloodline thing, I think that is the more interesting story to tell.
It is. It can put like a nail in the coffin to the Sami Zayn bloodline stuff. Like it can be an end. I mean, WWE, it's never going to end. But then, we don't have to worry about that anymore. And then you can start going with the Usos and more of the split. And
yeah, because I think eventually the Usos are probably going to break away from them and turn babyface. I mean, feels like that should be the direction here. So if JCB's still in here, I was listening to BFR earlier today, and one idea that Bill brought up on there that I loved is if Roman and Solo win, first off, Roman would now have 4 belts because you know the undisputed championship is 2 and the 2 sets of tag titles. Have the fucking Usos carry the tag championships for him.
Oh, wow.
How fucking awesome would that be? Like, just you are below me now. And you do as I say, bitch. Like, so that's why I want them to win. Just to see, like, if something like that happens, So, like, when I heard that earlier, I'm like, okay, I fucking love KO and Sami. Everyone knows that. The match at WrestleMania was amazing. It was one of my 5-star matches. But I think I want to see Roman and Solo win because I think it would just be a lot more interesting.
I don't know. They kind of didn't really give Sami and KO much to work with, you know. So like they've fallen really flat since WrestleMania because they won the titles, and then it was like, well, now we're just caught in limbo with the bloodline stuff, and then you throw in Matt Riddle, which in my opinion kind of made it a little worse. And nothing against Matt Riddle. I like Matt Riddle, but I just didn't.
I do too. But it just didn't really fit.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I kind of feel like it fell flat, and I think it's best for everybody if they just get the titles off of now and like just end their story with the bloodline, and it's over. You know.
Yeah, because I mean, KO's been saying it. Like, I'm tired of the bloodline. I just want to fight. Like, I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. So, like, I don't know if I want those two to split already, you know, because they just got together. But like if they lose, then what happens to them is the thing.
I don't want them to split, but I don't know. I kind of want them to be like singles, but like they have each other's back. If they like need each other,
Yeah.
and then eventually it's gonna like one's gonna turn on the other again because it's just
how it
the way
goes.
it works.
Wrestling, yeah.
Bo, who would you like to see win this match?
I'd like to see Roman and Solo win it. I like that whole idea with the Usos having to carry it and being turned into servants, butlers.
I think that would be so great.
Yeah, because then, like it wouldn't be just Roman kicking them out in a pitiful way. Eventually, like he would, disrespect and humiliate them to the point where they would like attack him.
Correct. I think that's probably where this would be headed, if that's the case.
And that would at least make them look in the long run less pathetic.
Absolutely.
Because, if they just, Roman kicks them out and they're like, please let us back in, it's gonna, I don't know, that's just a very castrating, kind of like complete castrating kind of thing where instead of cutting off 2 balls, you just want to cut off 1 ball. You know what I'm saying?
Ouchie. Yeah, for sure. I think this is fascinating, man. Buckle up. It's going to be great. While we're talking a little WWE, do you just want to let's run through some Night of Champions predictions? It's fucking 5 days away.
Yeah.
It seems like Backlash was just yesterday.
And it's a pretty good card in my opinion.
Yeah. So it's Saturday and then Double or Nothing is Sunday?
Yep.
What a weekend.
It's going to be a pretty good weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And then also, I don't know if you watch either Succession or Barry on HBO, but both of them are You watch both? Are you caught up? Actually, I did not watch last night yet.
I didn't watch last night's Succession, and I'm like 3 or 4 episodes behind on Barry. So
I'm just about to finish the first season of Succession.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You said you were just getting started. But
I may try to get 1 episode in tonight if I'm not too tired after this.
Yeah.
So,
but the
series where it's at.
It's about to be Max. It's going to be Max tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Tomorrow is when it becomes Max.
Max.
Yeah.
But series finale for both of those on Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be and Memorial Day weekend to boot. So good stuff coming. JCB continuing in the chat. The disrespect of the Usos in that scenario would be so great. We all agree. And then here's some fun. Never thought I would see the day where a Bill idea is getting so much traction. Hey, I tell you what, I listened to the majority of your episode today, probably like an hour and 40 minutes. And I told you I agreed wholeheartedly with his CM Punk take. As I said, I'm not going to talk about him here, but it was spot on how I feel. I don't want to fucking talk about him until he's on TV. That's basically what Bill was saying too. So, but yeah, good shit there. Let's just run it down here real quick. And I guess we'll do some Double or Nothing predictions at the end of the show as well. And Bo, if you wouldn't mind, as we're rolling through this, could you send the Manscaped read? I figure we should probably do a new one this week. We've got it. Send it to Diesel too. He can get in on it.
All right, sure thing. Yeah, are we doing that now?
No, just get it ready for after these predictions before we go into Dynamite. So
gotcha. We have Summer Bod and Father's Day.
Let's do Summer Bod because Father's Day is. Well, it's not even really but I guess the weather's been, it's been warmer.
It's feeling like summer.
Yeah, let's go summer. Let's go Summer Bod.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just gonna go in order on Wikipedia here. Match number 1, we've got Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles, the final for the inaugural World Heavyweight Championship match. Bo, I'll start with you. Who do you got here?
I'll pick Seth freaking Rollins, who I just saw is also has a role in the new Captain America movie.
Yeah. Yes. And that also caused reports to come out saying that WWE management is uncertain about giving Seth Rollins this title because of this acting thing that I don't know if I would think WWE knew about it,
Oh, yeah.
And
I guess maybe like Disney's like a competitor to their parent company. I mean, could that be it? But I mean, but still, I feel like that would just grow their brain. Like he's going to be in a
for sure
big superhero movie that a bunch of people are going to go see.
Guy is just becoming more and more of like a legitimate just star.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's weird. Like I wonder if it is a parent company kind of clash or what it is.
Well, we shall see. But Diesel, who you got here?
I think those reports are just to throw people off. I think like someone's like in WWE is giving out these rumors, and I think it's to throw people off because it doesn't make sense for AJ Styles to win because he's on SmackDown.
I know.
Of this version of the World Heavyweight Championship that's supposed to be Raw exclusive, why would you put it on a SmackDown guy?
Mm-hmm.
So I think Seth Rollins is going to win. But that being said, if AJ Styles did win, that would be my only gripe about it is he's on SmackDown because I actually would prefer AJ Styles to win because I like him better. But I mean, I'm going with Seth Rollins. I do like Seth Rollins a lot though too.
He's killing it. I do think the singing has kind of jumped the shark, and I think that started with WrestleMania. And we talked about it. Like, if you were gonna do that, you should have had a fucking actual like orchestra or like chorus there singing it, and not just an audio clip. It was just very tacky. But now it's like they're putting way too much emphasis on it, and it's just not cool anymore. I mean, it is, but it's just, for me, it's like, all right, we get the point here. You're really driving this in now. Definitely. Having said that, I love Seth Rollins and everything he's been doing, and I'm picking him for sure. I mean, I think when this belt was announced, what I said was, because I assumed it would have been all Raw people, it's a Raw fucking belt. So I'm like, it's got to be Seth versus Cody in the finals, and I think Seth will win just because of that whole feud they had last year, and Seth never beat him. Obviously, they've gone a different direction with Cody, and that's fine. And I think he should and probably will be the one to finally beat Roman, even if it's next year. This belt doesn't mean anything to him. It's the legacy of the WWE Championship that his father never won. So I think he will finish the story, but it still might be next year. But anywho, I'm picking Seth Rollins. I think the match should be fantastic. I mean, we know these two guys can work. JCB and I actually, when I was in St. Louis earlier this year, we were just watching so much just random wrestling, but we found like an old indie match between these two from like it's somewhere in Iowa because Seth Rollins is from there, which was very good, but it was probably from like the mid 2000s. Like they were so young. So anywho, just a little side note there. But I wanted AJ to win too. So like this was the final that I wanted to see. Like people were talking Edge, and I'm an Edge guy, but I did not want to see him here at all. He already is winning too many big matches. So match number 2, Cody versus Brock. Number 2. It says it's just a singles match. I mean, it feels like it should be like no DQ, street fight, something based on what's happened in Brock kind of losing his shit and saying he wants to fight and this and that. But as of now, no stipulation. Bo, who you got?
I guess maybe Cody, well, who won the last one again? Was it
Cody? Remember, Cody kind of got the fluke roll up when Brock hit him in the arm.
Yeah, and then
Brock, my least favorite finish, like of all time.
And then Brock just pummeled him, and then he pummeled him again on the following Raw.
Right, and made him lose to Finn Balor, right?
Yeah, yes, in that triple threat, yes.
That's really going. You know what? I'll just go with Brock. Let's do it.
D's.
I don't even know because I think that Cody should have lost at Backlash to Brock Lesnar. And like I think they want to tell the story that he needs to earn it. Then I don't know why are they having it. I don't know. It's weird the logic they're telling us, but then what they're actually doing with how they're booking Cody is just like the opposite. So typical WWE booking, but I mean. Brock has to win this match, and there has to be like a third. There has to be a rubber match. I think so.
I agree.
And even if they drag it out to SummerSlam,
yep,
I think that So I'm going to say Brock Lesnar wins this match.
That's exactly what I think.
I hope that he actually squashes Cody, so maybe they can tell the story of
Yes,
that
get some actual
earlier.
redemption. Yeah.
Mhm.
Give him the old Mr. Brody Lee treatment when he squashed his ass for the TNT title.
Yep.
Still one of the best moments in early AEW because it was just shocking.
Yeah. Didn't see it
so
coming.
I agree. I would love that, and I wholeheartedly agree. I think Brock will win, and I think the third match will be at SummerSlam. I mean, they could do it at Money in the Bank, which isn't that in London this year?
Yeah.
So
they're
that's
probably
kind
going to
of
try to make it a little bit more of a bigger deal.
and you know, Money in the Bank has kind of always been like the big fifth pay-per-view, you know, over the past, you know, it's been around what?
A little brother of the Big Four, yeah.
Yeah, 2010 was the first. I was actually there in Kansas City, Missouri. It was Kane and The Miz won each of the ladder matches. But yeah, so
I cash in then too.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick. This is an interesting little note here from our good friend JCB that AJ Seth match footage was shown on Raw tonight. So weird you brought that up.
Fascinating. Wow.
How about that? Okay, next match. We just spent a good amount of time talking about it. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. I know we all said we want Roman and Solo to win. Are we all picking them?
Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah, I'll pick them.
Me too.
No reason not to.
No, nothing else. We just discussed it all. I don't think we need to get into it more. But yeah, I've clean sweep here. Going to be fascinating.
Yes.
Match 4, which last week when we recorded on Monday, this happened on Raw when we were looking at the card. We're very confused. Gunther versus Mustafa Ali, who won the Battle Royal last week to become #1 contender. I thought it was a pretty good Battle Royal, actually. I was really pulling for Bronson Reed. But the ending was really cool with he and Ricochet and Ali getting the kick. And, you know, obviously he's kind of the ultimate underdog. Guy's hell of a talent, has never really like clicked fully necessarily. And, his opportunities have been waning from time to time. So I was happy to see him win. No chance in hell he's going to beat Gunther, but I hope this one is not a squash because I was about to call you Gunther. Diesel, did you see either of like the two Ricochet Gunther matches? Like, yeah, those were both awesome. Like, a little athletic guy, and Gunther is just one of the best in the world, period.
I think that's how it's going to be. It's going to be like a gnat flying around his head until he finally swats him down.
Yeah.
And I wasn't mad that Mustafa Ali won this match because Gunther isn't going to lose the Intercontinental Championship anytime soon. So to have him face Bronson Reed, it'd almost be a waste because they can't have either of them lose because they're building Bronson Reed to be this unstoppable monster, which I love. I love that he carried over his momentum from this past year when he was away from WWE as Jonah and then into the heel Bronson Reed character. So they couldn't have him lose. And I feel like double count out or no contest would just be cop out. So I actually like that they have Mustafa Ali in this match. So that being said, definitely Gunther's going to win, no doubt about it. But yeah, so I think it was a good call.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying about Reed for sure. And, I would say he's not at the level he was in New Japan when he fucking beat Okada. But yes, he's been booked pretty well here.
No,
I mean,
I don't know. What I've
has
noticed
he even had a pay-per-view match though? Oh, I guess last
was
the triple
Backlash, yeah.
But a singles match rather. But
not
he's
yet.
starting to get opportunity. I guess I would have just still liked to see the match happen because it would have just been a big match. But maybe they're saving it. Maybe it is SummerSlam. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I too was happy with Ali. Bo, I assume we're all picking Gunther, but what are your thoughts on the match here? I know you haven't seen a ton of Ali, but
I'm not. No, I'm not familiar. I mean, I'm sure probably Gunther. I mean, he just doesn't seem like a big enough name to, be the person who ends his streak of dominance. So yeah, again, I'm not too familiar with Mustafa Ali, but Diesel, it seems like you're right. He'll just be sort of like a gnat, just sort of bugging him and annoying him until Gunther just swiftly takes him down. But Ali's a pretty big guy, right? No, 5'10". No, he's not.
No, not
right?
He's more of the high flyer type.
More of the high flyer.
He was in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
He's one of the only guys that are left from that
Yeah. Oh wow.
in WWE.
Yeah,
Cedric Alexander,
Akira
Tozawa. Yep.
Uh-huh.
It's
So,
crazy that Zack Sabre Jr. and Kota Ibushi were in that too.
Right?
It's fucking nuts. I'll take this opportunity to plug our friend High Five Tom. He and Justin from the End Time Wrestling podcast did a whole review of the entire Cruiserweight Classic like 2 years ago, maybe. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't rewatch it. I would like to because that was such a both. So like they had Zack Sabre Jr., Kota Ibushi, and a bunch of other guys were in WWE like for this tournament. This one-off tournament they did in 2016.
So just temporarily.
Yeah, and like there was obviously talk of maybe they're gonna sign these guys, and then both ended up signing with New Japan. Ibushi had basically like just taken a year away from New Japan because just to do whatever. But I had never seen either of those guys before to that point, and now obviously we haven't seen a ton of Ibushi lately, but two of my favorites, like they're both incredible. But anyhow, side note there. But yeah, Gunther will win this match. I just hope, give him like 8 to 10 minutes and make it competitive. I think they will. I don't think they're just going to squash Ali. So
no, I kind of feel like they're going to have a squash match and it's going to be Cody versus Brock.
I hope so. Okay. We have, I guess one of these was probably added tonight, but the two women's matches, we have a WrestleMania rematch here between Bianca Belair and Asuka. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I thought Bianca would win at WrestleMania, but I wanted Asuka to win. She's now 0-5 at WrestleMania, which sucks. You bring her back, you have her spit the mist in Bianca's face, so she turns heel essentially because they were both kind of baby faces then. And I know JCB and those guys talked about it on BFR, and they both kind of said, Bianca's gonna win, but fuck, like I want Asuka to win this match, damn it. But I'm probably gonna pick Bianca. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I feel the exact same way as you. I don't know. I love Asuka and I love Bianca too, but she's been champion for
forever,
over a year.
Yeah,
and just it's still like they need to like. There was rumors today in wrestling news that they're talking about turning her and the Street Profits heel. And if they put them together, I think that would be interesting.
I would be cool with I mean, they're married. Everyone knows it. Like, let's get them.
That's not going to happen Saturday because Asuka's a heel. And I don't know.
But maybe after she loses the title at some point. But
like, this is probably one of the matches I'm least excited about, just because of everything that you said, and that sucks because I love both of these people. But yeah, I think that Bianca is going to retain.
In the WrestleMania match, I thought was, damn good. I think I went like
it was really good.
4.25 on it or something. I think Bianca wins too, but by God, I would love to see Asuka. Bo, what are you thinking?
Yeah, we've all picked the same thing so far. So I think you all said it, so I'm going to go with Asuka. Because of that. Maybe it is time for her to change that. Is she not the longest reigning women's champion, women's Raw champion?
Women's champion. I believe that is correct.
Gotcha.
Yes. She's over 400 days at this point, I'm pretty sure. So.
Right. So
didn't she win it at WrestleMania last year?
Yeah, she did against Becky.
Yeah.
And also, like we've already Roman, Gunther, Bianca, like they've got 3, and the Usos just lost theirs. 3 champs over a year.
But I actually do enjoy that they're doing that because
I do too.
I can't stand Top Potato, and I kind of like that it's.
I couldn't agree more. I just think it's Bianca. It's time for for Bianca's to end. But I couldn't agree more. They've given value to these championships again, which. In the
I never thought I would see it, to be honest.
I know.
And I kind of don't want Roman to lose just because.
I'm on board with WrestleMania next year now. Like,
I mean,
that's what I want.
They can't take him to like San Martino heights, but like, it wouldn't be cool if they did.
Which was what, like 6 or 7 years?
Yeah, we're halfway there.
Yeah. But I'll still never forget the spot right here in front of me where Bo was sitting when that match ended, and we just like locked eyes and no one said a word for like 5 seconds.
It's like, wow. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Big shocker.
But yeah, I just think, she's already beat Asuka. She's beaten everyone. Like, what more is there to do? Like you said, unless you're going to turn her heel, which I don't think is going to happen in this title reign.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm going to pick Bianca, but I want Asuka to win.
Yes.
So, and then the final match, which I'm guessing was probably announced on Raw tonight because I was unaware of it, but they'd kind of been building towards it, is Rhea Ripley versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship, which is so stupid that they have the belts on the wrong show.
Yeah.
Anywho,
gotta versus Natalya.
Yeah, I think gotta be Rhea Ripley. This one's a no-brainer, but
I take it back. This is my least excited match. No offense, but yeah.
Yeah, and they've actually added a 7th match, as a matter of fact. I just updated the Night of Champions. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Rhea Ripley too. I really don't know who Natalya is, to be honest. I don't know if I've seen her. Wow, so she's the longest signed female WWE wrestler, actively being with the company since 2007. I don't know if I've seen her in any sort of show or matches.
I know. Yeah. I think she was in like that multi-woman tag match at WrestleMania 2 years ago. Like, you've probably seen her, but she hasn't really been featured a lot in the past couple of years. But
Ripley
she's a pretty solid wrestler at when she was coming up in NXT, like her and Charlotte had a banger, but yeah, I mean, she's not really been of any significance lately, but maybe she'll turn it up for this one. It's probably been a while since she's had a marquee big match like this. So, and we know Rhea Ripley can fucking go. So we'll see. So, Bo, you said there's a 7th match.
Yes. I had refreshed it because I had gone off the page and I've gone back. This has popped up.
Let's hear it.
Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not shocking either. Well, since you introduced it, you pick it first, buddy.
I mean, Trish Stratus has been in a lot of these. I guess they've drug her back since WrestleMania, it seems like. And has she won any of the matches she's been in?
Well, they won the 6-woman match at WrestleMania, and then it was like 2 episodes of Raw later, or maybe a little after that. I guess Lita was hurt, maybe in storyline, got attacked, I think, by
Trish.
Damage
Trish,
Control.
Like, came out.
Oh, yeah, it was like
she admitted to.
Yeah, we didn't see who it was, but yeah, it ultimately ended up being Trish. Trish then took Lita's spot in the tag team title match, and they lost to, was it Liv and Raquel, who have now vacated because Liv got hurt. But yeah, so Trish ultimately turned on Becky.
Gotcha.
So yeah. And she's been like cutting heel promos since and talking shit.
Gotcha. I don't know. Maybe I could go with Trish since she, hasn't had like a big singles win since, she's come back and been doing stuff. So I'll go with that. I know flimsy logic, but hey.
Diesel?
I think it's going to be Trish, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
So I think Lita was in on it the whole time, and she's going to come down.
Okay.
And like Becky's going to think like she has her back, and she's going to attack Becky.
I dig that.
And so then we're going to get a heel Lita and Trish, and then at SummerSlam, Becky and I don't know who you like team her with, but probably a tag team match.
Yeah, you can find someone, but she doesn't really have any like allies currently. But I really like
Holly. Like, I think there was reports that Holly was going to get involved in the storyline. She looked
really good in the Rumble a couple years ago. Speaking of looking really good, and I'm going to steal a term from our friend Kevin Rogue. God damn, Trish is really looking like a ripe tomato these days, isn't she?
How old is she?
She's like 47 or something, and she looks great. 47. Yeah, I remember we looked it up at WrestleMania. Like, that was the highlight of the match. Like, she was just stunning at that age. But goddamn, Lita, I'm done seeing her wrestle. She has not looked good at all. But it is what it is. I have met her in person though, and she was lovely. So I don't want to.
I've heard that she's like one of the nicest people.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Lita. I love you. You're great. You really are great. But if you're gonna be out there, just be a little better. Damn it. But I agree. I'm gonna take Trish as well, and I think that is great. Great insight or ideas or fantasy booking, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I like that. And, then you kind of give Becky, a little hole to dig out of, and she can eventually overcome and, kind of ultimately win the feud. I would imagine what happens. So, But yeah, there's our Night of Champions. Was there one more thing? Oh, Diesel, real quick. Did you happen to watch Ring of Honor last week?
I'm behind on my Ring of Honor.
I would say one of the best matches on the TV show since it started was, surprisingly, it was Action Andretti and Darius Martin against the Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, in a fight without honor. It was awesome. Really good match. Main event.
Do love the Kingdom, and
yeah. Me too. I didn't at first, and then it was I always liked Bennett more than Taven, but I'm on board now. It was match.
I've always been a big Matt Taven guy.
I'm Matt Taven.
I love Matt Taven.
Well, you're a fucking Melvin. You know that?
Oh, I will own up to that right now. I am a Melvin. I said it to his face.
I think I remember you saying that. It was that long ass fucking ladder match they had at the New Japan ROH joint show at MSG.
Yeah, but that wasn't his fault.
I know, but
it wasn't his fault that they picked him to win that match. You know,
that was just the first time I'm just like, I'm not really into this guy. But it was the match at the final battle, the final ROH show before Tony Khan bought it, where they wrestled the Briscoes, and it was just an incredible match. And ever since then, I've been on board with both guys. And like Mike Bennett just seems like a great fucking dude. And I love Maria. Who doesn't? Talk about ripe tomatoes.
One of the best entrance musics in all of wrestling.
It is good.
I've got something for you.
Speaking of great entrance musics, my boy Chris Brooks, I mentioned earlier, is one of my favorites. I literally turn my TV up to 100 when he comes out because his music just gets me so amped. But anyway, I just wanted to see if you'd watch that match. I highly recommend it. It was very good.
Check it out. Yeah, for sure.
So, all right. Manscaped time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Summer Bod 2023 male.
Summer Bod 2023 male.
Yes.
Diesel, you pulling this up, dog?
Yes. Oh, no. I went female. I got it.
Well, how about this? I'll do the intro like I always do. Bo, you can do the first 4 bullet points, five bullet points, I guess, and then Diesel the last 5, and then I'll do the end.
Yep.
How about it? Okay. And you can cut that little part out, Bo, if you want.
No, I will. Hang on. Where's our timestamp? 47:20. Okay.
Sweet. Okay. Summer's coming. Are you ready to unveil your beach bod? Manscaped is here to ensure your body is ready for the wild with their game-changing full-body grooming and hygiene products. Don't be the guy at the beach with Austin Powers chest hair. And if you grew some winter man tits or ham tits, the least you can do is make sure they're hairless. It's time to get ready for hot guy summer by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code BBB. Beaumont, tell them more.
I got to say one thing. Didn't like all the women find Austin Powers sexy with his huge chest?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily a knock, but the man tits most certainly are. Ooh, boy.
And ham tits.
Yeah, wow. No, I can't believe that passed. But anywho, what is more than passable is Manscaped, how they're dedicated to helping you increase your confidence and level up your full body grooming game with the Performance Package 4.0. And this kit comes with the Essential Lawnmower 4.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer and a ton, more than a lot, of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. Whether you're trimming your chest or the treasure chest inside your pants, this is the best trimmer on the market. I like to think of the thing inside my pants as not a treasure chest, but the Mario question mark, box. I like to think that's what I got packing. This is the best trimmer on the market, though. Their trimmer features a ceramic blade designed to cut hair on loose skin and reduce grooming accidents. Thanks to advanced skin-safe technology, you can even trim an arrow pointing to the promised land if you're bold enough and have a steady hand.
Wow.
Inside the Performance Package, you'll also find Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner. That's exactly what I need.
Yeah.
an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, because we know how painful chafing can be when you're wearing your bathing suit all day.
I know I sure do.
No one likes nose hairs, so their package also comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0. You also get 2 free gifts. The Shed travel bag.
We
It's
love
a $39 value.
We love the Shed.
Yeah.
And the patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped boxers.
Yeah.
If you're wearing sandals, you need to get Manscaped Shears 2.0 nail kit. And finally, having the right tools for grooming is essential. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job.
Always. I like how that's trademarked too. That's fucking tight. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BBB at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code BBB at manscaped.com. Trim your chesticles with the besticles, and your balls will thank you.
Your winter man tits may not. It might be a little upset.
My ham tits will.
No.
Okay. That was fun. Let's talk a little AEW Dynamite. It was a great fucking show last week, I thought.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Even though you fell asleep during it here.
It was a Wednesday, so
yeah, you'd had a day.
You know what that means?
What?
Yeah, that's how they opened the show. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. You know. Oh, got my cough button going there. Yeah, we were live from the Moody Center in Austin, Texas. It started. We had Wardlow coming out to start the show, which was interesting. I feel like when they have like promo segments, it's usually like, I guess maybe it's not always like main event type stuff. They do kind of open with some weird stuff, man. Anywho, what ended up happening here? Sorry. TJR didn't have a fucking recap.
I know, yeah. I was gonna kind of brush up on the first half of the show, and I was like looking for it. I was like,
yeah,
what happened?
Oh, so he basically called out Christian right away, and it basically got to the point they're gonna have a ladder match. That's kind of what it was building to. And Bo, I remember I said like I wasn't super excited about the match. Like I like Christian and I like Wardlow, but I would rather see Luchasaurus versus Wardlow.
Oh yeah, that's a much more sensible, match of
and
styles.
I think
Christian doesn't need that. Christian's been great. Like, it's the heel manager / promo guy. Like I'm not like itching to see him do more in-ring stuff, especially in a match like this.
Well, but what I was going to say is making it a ladder match made me more interested in it just because, Christian's a ladder match guy and, just makes it more intriguing to me. So, I'm at least happy about that, but I would still rather it be Luchasaurus. But yeah, Diesel, what do you kind of think about all this?
I think that they're building towards Luchasaurus. I mean, why wouldn't they? I don't because it doesn't make sense for it just to be Christian and then Wardlow move on to the next guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just feel like Luchasaurus would be a better pay-per-view match than Christian, frankly.
Yeah.
That's kind of how
I mean, they have a bunch of pay-per-views this summer. So, they can still do it on pay-per-view. Yes. I don't know. I'm not super into this whole story. Like the Christian dead dad story has been kind of played out since
that's kind of what
last
we
year.
talked about. Yeah,
but I do like the little. I haven't decided if I like that Arn Anderson is Wardlow's manager now. I do kind of like what they did last week, where Wardlow asked him to stay in the back, and he got beat down, and Arn Anderson told him this is why he shouldn't. I don't know. It's going to be interesting when it's Wardlow versus Luchasaurus because then you have both managers too. So
yeah,
as long as Arn Anderson doesn't fall off the ring apron, he's manager. But
the star of the show.
The star of the show.
Yeah. Shouldn't say that. He'll probably shoot me with a Glock. So
yeah, you better watch out. Oh, Psycho Tom in the building.
Yeah.
What a player. How you doing? Yeah, I'm with you. We'll hold off. We'll do our picks at the end, but I think we're kind of all in agreement here. But Then we got a pretty fun little tag team of Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy defeating Big Bill and Lee Moriarty in 11 minutes, 13 seconds. I thought this was a very fun match.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, loved the team of Darby and Orange. You know, they had some pretty good chemistry. You know, two kind of big homegrown baby faces that have they had a match? I think they've had to have had a match.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a pretty good, pretty good meeting of styles, I think, between those two.
Here, I'm gonna see real quick if I can
possibly for the TNT title at some point.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I don't think Orange. He definitely didn't defend the international title against him.
No, definitely not. I mean, maybe I don't know. I doubt it.
Hold on one sec. Anywho, well, keep to any thoughts on the match, fellas, as I kind of look into this.
Well, this definitely was a good match. I liked the thread that they had during this whole episode with the three pillars that are challenging MJF, how they all got showcased in a match, and how they all won their matches. And I thought that this was a good way of using Darby Allin, because then you also get Orange Cassidy on the show, who is still super over. And I'm at the point where it's I wish they would kind of back off Orange Cassidy just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because I think he's been overexposed, but it is what it is.
But he's still
people still love him though. So
and he's still churning out pretty damn good matches each and every time out. And I think the last couple defenses against Bandito and Garcia, I thought those were two of the best in this run.
When I was at Dynamite last month, he faced Swerve.
Oh yeah, that was a really good
opening match. That was a really good match.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm with you though. And we'll obviously talk about the Battle Royal later that was announced. I think that will be intriguing. But I do like how they've kind of been continually going to this gimmick of Orange being tired. You know, he kind of is give me a chair. I'm tired. Because, he is out there every week.
Constantly, yeah.
He's defended that title 21 or 22 times or something crazy like that. But he hasn't had a big pay-per-view singles match with it that I can recall. But I think this Battle Royal will still be pretty interesting.
Yes.
So, let's see what was next. We had, the Young Bucks and Kenny were attacked by the BCC, and Moxley said that they are the elite in this business. So, certainly more to come on that at the end of the show. We'll kind of hold our thoughts on kind of all this till then.
Sure.
And then Sammy Guevara squashes Exodus Prime and then cuts a very babyface promo. I've been saying of late, I'm definitely more engaged with Sammy now than I had been previously. I think he's been pretty good. I thought the MJF stuff was actually pretty fun. Them with the matching vests and kissing each other on the forehead and all that.
Wish it would have lasted longer.
Yeah, but it makes sense, for them not to be friends going into the match at this point. But I did not expect all three of the others to kind of be going in as baby faces. And I mean, they were in Austin. Sammy's from Houston. He wrestled a lot in the Austin indie scene, I know. So maybe that's part of it, but I mean, he has kind of trended more babyface-ish, since that tag team match when he and MJF lost. So, but I agree. I've heard on other podcasts and whatnot, people aren't as into this 4 pillars 4-way and saying that, the other 3 guys aren't really main eventers, but I kind of go the other way.
I agree.
I think this has been simmering for a long time, and I think getting Darby, Jungle Boy, and Sammy this opportunity is great for them, and let's see how they answer the bell. And I think they're all so talented. I think it's going to be a great match, and I've really enjoyed the build personally. Bo, I'm pretty sure you're kind of in that same boat as well. I feel like
I think this is just just a good natural direction for all this to go, and I like all these 4 guys, and I'm glad this Pillars storyline is finally kind of getting its due and, kind of getting away, because the last 2 years they had all these signings and all these new people coming in left and right to the roster. It's nice that they haven't lost sight of these guys and that they're letting this story just naturally and organically build to this. So it feels right.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I wanted to like add to the 4 pillars thing. Like I think the person that has grown the most in just like the short amount of time they've been doing the storyline is definitely Darby Allin.
I agree.
Like he never got to speak, and like he can actually cut a promo, and like I've been actually really surprised by like how well he's been cutting his promos and like how relatable he is and stuff like that. And so like I think this has been really good for him. I think it definitely shows Jungle Boy's flaws a little bit though. I mean, he can wrestle, it's just he can't cut a promo.
He's gotten better, I think. You know, he was really bad when he first came in. He didn't really talk much, but like anytime he would, it's like I agree. Definitely his weakness, and he's the weakest of the 4. I would go, you know, MJF 1, obviously, Darby 2 now, like you said, Sammy 3, and then Jungle Boy 4. But I do think he's gotten better for sure. But yeah, I agree. I said it, I think, on the show last week that of those 3, and I definitely think MJF is going to win, but I would want Darby to win, you know, as like the fan pulling for the baby face. Like he's the guy. Yeah, and I agree. In this build, it's made me more interested in him. Sorry, Bo, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, and I was saying this during the show when we were watching on Wednesday. But like just the contrast between like Darby and MJF, like if you want to take, if you were to take the belt off him, which I don't think they will, he would be the person that you would, you know, you wouldn't have like Sammy, you know, parading around with it, you know, being cocky. And I just don't think this is really Jungle Boy's time yet. That would be a bit too out of left field. But Darby would be right. But yeah, I still don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and we'll see if, you know, kind of another thing we talked about is if they do spin this off into singles matches, you know, after Double or Nothing. Like, does Darby get a shot? Does Jungle Boy, Sam, you know? I would guess at least one of them, maybe not all 3, because MJF just doesn't wrestle that much. And I like that. And I like that it is kind of rare when he wrestles because it makes it that much bigger of a deal. So we shall see. But yeah, you've got, and then Adam Cole certainly waiting in the wings at some point, you would imagine. We've talked a lot on this show about Hangman MJF is a big, big match and feud that they have not done yet. That's got to happen at some point. Obviously not anytime soon with, you know, the BCC and Elite likely being tied up through the summer, I would imagine, in some form or fashion. And hopefully Kota Ibushi joining the fray at some point. But yeah, I'm excited about this. So then we get Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh, and what they're calling Triple J, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. I kind of like that. These fucking goons come out, and eventually FTR obviously comes. They knock Satnam off the stage like right away. There's a brouhaha. Lethal basically gets depantsed, and then fucking Karen Jarrett shows up. And Bo, I know you were like in the kitchen or taking a piss or something when this all happened. This was bizarre, for sure. I assume I've kind of dabbled in a good amount of old TNA, and I know Jarrett was on top for quite a bit of it. I'm guessing she was probably on TNA programming. Diesel, do you know?
A lot.
Yeah. Okay.
He like it goes back all the way to Kurt Angle.
Well, they were like he was married to Kurt Angle first, right?
Yeah, so she started with like Kurt Angle storylines and stuff like that, and then they ended up getting divorced
in TNA.
Yes, and so then they ended up getting divorced, and then she was storyline in between Kurt and Jeff. Eventually sided with Jeff against Kurt, and like she was a character for a really long time.
Married in real life, I presume.
Yeah, and she's not a very good character. So, in my opinion, like I've been really into this whole FTR.
I've been more into it than I thought I'd be, for sure.
I've never really been a fan of Jeff Jarrett.
Me neither.
And this is the first time in my entire life that I'm actually enjoying Jeff Jarrett.
I couldn't agree more.
But then Karen Jarrett comes in, and it's like now they jumped the shark.
Yeah.
It's like you ruined it. Yeah. Like everything was great. The segment they had last week at
the chicken farm segment was so fucking good.
Awesome. Don't trust the man in the overalls.
Satnam Singh holding the baby the whole time.
Don't trust the man in the overalls. Which one? They're all wearing overalls.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. Now Karen Jarrett's involved. It's like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah, and just from hearing discourse, you know, it seems like a lot of people are down on her. Admittedly, I have not seen her before, but she looked pretty good. I like those tight leather red pants. You heard me? But we've talked a lot too about, this is not your father's AEW tag division, for lack of a better term. Like the tag division was the strength of this company, and it's just not where it was. And the trios titles certainly have something to do with that, kind of pulling, obviously the Bucks and Lucha Bros away for quite a while. And as into Jeff Jarrett and all this as I am, they have already had 2 shots at the tag team titles against the Acclaimed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking for some freshness here. Like these guys are fun and entertaining, but they've been in the title picture for so long. Nobody wants to see them beat FTR. I mean, maybe they get a fluke win and FTR wins it back like right away on Dynamite or something. I don't even know if I want to see that, but like, why the insistence of continually pushing these guys in the title picture if they're not going to win?
They don't know where they're going with their tag division.
I mean, yeah, I know.
They don't think they have a plan for what's going to happen after this feud. They're just kind of like throwing things on the wall and hoping it sticks. And it seems like they've been doing that for probably about a year since I think it was All Out when the Acclaim didn't win the titles, but the crowd was like super into it.
Yeah, that match was fucking awesome.
I think after that, they just kind of like lost direction and they just were kind of flying by the seat of their pants.
I agree.
And they gave the Acclaim the titles, which I mean, I loved. Like they're great tag champs, but after that, it was like the Guns and I don't know, it just don't have a direction.
I agree. Yeah. But we'll see. Yeah, it is what it is. So then there was a quick little exchange between Darby Allin and Sammy. Again, kind of furthering Sammy as a baby face, basically saying like, we're not friends, but fuck MJF, is basically kind of what they said. So and then we had it was Ruby Soho and Toni Storm defeating Dr. Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida, who looked fucking great. Love Shida. Great to see her back. Unfortunate that this was initially supposed to be a 6-woman tag, but Jamie and Saraya, I think, both had some like minor injuries, so just a tag match. But we talked last week, this women's division kind of seemed like it was moving, or definitely was moving in the right direction for quite a while. And Jamie Hayter has been awesome as champ, even though she hasn't been defending it quite as much of late. But it feels like we've been stuck in neutral for over a month with this kind of outcasts versus OGs, whatever you want to call it. Just looking for some juice here. And, I thought this match was solid. It was fine. Of course, the outcasts won with some bullshit shenanigans again. But, like, what's the end goal here? Where are we headed? Obviously, they announced we are going to get another Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm match for the title, which – again, it's not new, it's not fresh, but I can't be mad about it because those two put on a hell of a match at Full Gear last year. Bo, you remember my reaction to that?
Oh yeah, I was actually like thinking back to that just as you were saying it.
Yeah, one of the better AEW women's matches ever, I think, as was Jamie's title defense against Shida on Dynamite like a few weeks thereafter. But again, that since the fall winter when this was cooking, I feel like they've just lost some momentum. So hopefully they can get this back on track. Any other thoughts from you guys on kind of the whole situation with this story?
I'm becoming bored with it, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know.
It seems like it's been going on for a while, like what,
and there hasn't really been any real movement.
I'm not a fan of the Outcasts as a faction either. Like, individually, like I don't have a problem with any 3 of them.
Stuff, like that whole thing is a little.
I'm trying to be like the female version of the NWO. I don't know. It's not clicking for me.
Yeah, it was early, but not anymore because it's just kind of been the same shit. So hopefully they can get the train back on the tracks, as we used to say around here. But next was Orange Cassidy's, fun interview with Renee Paquette, saying that 20 people just went into Tony Khan's office asking for a challenge. I would have liked to see that one by one, everyone going in asking.
Yeah, like the whole of people.
Yeah,
like just curling around the corner.
Yeah. But he said, "I'll fight them all," and I make 21, so let's make it a blackjack battle royal. He asked Renee if she wanted to be in, and she's like, no. And then Taz is like, she thought about it. But we would kind of mention this earlier. I think this will be really interesting, and you got to feel if Orange is going to be in the final 2, no matter what. I mean, he has to. I think BFR said this, and I agreed. Like, I would like to see, I don't want to see Orange's epic reign end in a battle royal.
Uh-huh.
I would like to see him win this by the skin of his teeth, and then maybe he defends it on Dynamite Wednesday, and that's when the fatigue and tired and everything catches up to him. Maybe it's whoever finishes second in the battle royal, or something happens in the battle royal to lead to that. But I mean, I could definitely see him lose too.
They change their rules for their battle royals like every single time they do it. So it could be like the final 2 actually have to have a match too. So if he lost it that way, I'd be fine with it. But yeah, if he lost it by getting like tossed over the top rope and he was part of the final 2, I think it would have been all this built up storyline of him being fatigued would have been all for naught.
I agree.
Yeah, if they do the one thing where he comes a match and he loses it, they can tell that story where he's just too tired.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
And coming off this grueling battle royal, outlasting 20 other men, I don't even, we don't know who all's in this. Obviously, we could speculate if we wanted, but I don't feel like kind of running through and, who's going to win. Probably Orange, but we'll see. We'll talk a little more in the predictions at the end. But then Tony Khan announced Collision for June 17th. And again, I'm just going to leave that at that. And we're not going to talk any more about it. So next match, which was awesome. Roderick Strong defeats Chris Jericho in a Falls Count Anywhere match. I thought this was wonderful. So much fun. Fighting into the stairwell, fighting outside for a while. This was just good fun. Just great, like, Attitude Era type shit here. Roddy Strong is the man. I was telling Bo, who's not too familiar with him, that, like, not the best promo guy, but he's a fucking machine in the ring. And obviously this wasn't your standard wrestling match, but I thought Jericho was awesome here too. I mean, these guys beat the shit out of each other all around. This was very, very good. What'd you guys think? Bo, go ahead first.
Sure. Yeah. Well, one thing I remember you told me, you're like, this is about the time you fell asleep. And I remember I started watching and I was like, holy shit, I remember all this.
Okay.
I remember, the fight spilling out,
I just wanted to make sure you had seen that.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought it was awesome.
I thought that too, because the memories just weren't like, I guess, as I was falling asleep, like, they had just been filed in the back of my mind. But then once I saw the end, whenever they take him out and, like, he does that move where he throws Chris Jericho like back first into like the counter at one of the concession stands.
Yeah.
The thing didn't look like it hurt. And then he picks up that what's that, like, seatbelt like fencing or
it's like a tent. It's called a tensa barrier.
A tensa barrier.
And they are not light.
I remember you saying that.
I used to have to put them out in the Bengals press box.
And I remember seeing that. I remember you said, well, those things are not light.
Yeah.
And also during that part too, there was this total jackass who, like, you know how, like, whenever fights sort of spill out of the ring, like into the crowd or into an area where like fans
You've
are.
Got the fans following them and security
there. Yeah. And there was this one guy who was just hell bent on being on the camera. Just
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and then the security guy just kept pushing him back.
Yeah,
and he kept going at it, and I was just like, dude, come on, like,
And I remember at one point
here
in that part seeing the security guard like hit the cameraman.
Yeah.
He was he was just kind of doing this, and he like nailed the guy as he was like trying to get through the scrum.
Yeah, and then we had the outdoor part with Adam Cole, and
I forgot to mention Cole,
and then the pin in the dirt.
Yes.
Which
I loved that touch of, Cole and Jazz were banned from the building, but hey, now they're out of the building and you see him there. I thought that was brilliantly shot and well done.
Yeah, no, the end of this was just kind of a lot of fun. Like you said, very Attitude Era, especially with going outside. Chris Jericho got the cream pie in the face, or it was an ice cream or something.
Yeah, I think it was ice cream. Yeah.
Very Mrs. Doubtfire, But yeah, like I said, as proof in the pudding, just kind of being able to recall all these moments, despite like that being the last one before I was out for the count. It was yeah, like I said, it was a lot of memorable spots.
Yeah, and real quick before we get to Diesel, I want to mention 2 days later on the Best of the Super Juniors, or might have even been the next day, Kushida and Hiromu Takahashi fought outside the building as well, and were rolling around in the grass. So pretty similar. I thought that was funny because you just don't see that too often, and for it to happen in 2 big matches in the same week was interesting. But Diesel, what'd you think of this bad boy?
My thoughts were, it was pretty predictable when they announced the stipulation for this match the week before, what was going to happen. Since he was banned from the arena, I knew that eventually it was going to end up outside of the arena.
See, I didn't even think about it, frankly.
Yeah.
I just kind of thought they'd have the match and it'd be what it was. But
that was my first thought. Because I'm always semantics. I'm always looking at what was actually said. So I figured this was how it was going to end. So my thing was, I wanted to see how they got to the outside, and it was very entertaining what they did when they were fighting on that ledge by that staircase. I was fearing for their lives.
Yeah, just slapping the shit out of each other too.
So another interesting thing is it was kind of upside down. Usually it's the stupid baby face that gets led to the outside and gets attacked by the heel. This time it was the stupid heel that got led by the smart baby face.
I kind of thought it would have gone had Jazz in, but I like how it went as well. So
yeah, I thought it was a great story addition to the story they're telling with Adam Cole and Chris Jericho, even though I'm just kind of meh on the feud as a whole. I know that they haven't had a feud before, so it's kind of cool, but at the same time, I wasn't really begging to see this feud.
Yeah. I hear you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm a Jericho guy. He's lost a bit of a step, but I feel like he's better than he was in 2020. I remember when Bo's first show was Full Gear 2020.
Yeah,
he wrestled MJF, and that was a match where I'm like, oh man, Jericho did not look good.
When we did our first live show, the NBA was on right after it, or the NBA was on before. Yeah, I think the NBA, before. So a lot of NBA fans on Twitter were just tuning in, and I remember there were so many comments about how out of shape he looked, and then he did that really embarrassing lion salt.
Oh
yeah,
really
land. Yeah, it was just
then he got his ass in shape,
EPY.
Yeah, and he's been a lot better since, and he's had some really good matches too, that 4-way for the Ring of Honor title that we watched at your crib at Full Gear, which was he, Claudio, Danielson, and Sammy was awesome. The match with Ishii for the Ring of Honor title was awesome. Plenty of others. So I'm pretty pro Jericho still. I know, some people aren't, or think he doesn't put people over enough, or shove down our throats, blah, blah, blah. That's not how I feel. So, Cole or Adam Cole's going to beat him for sure. I don't know how great that match will be. I may not be as good as this one, but, we'll see. It's been a pretty interesting build, I think. You bring the Britt Baker thing into it. The T-shirt, I'm not really a fan of, but I think it's been pretty good, and I thought this was a nice chapter in the feud. So then we go right into Roosh and Jungle Boy, which Jack Perry beats him in 10 minutes. I thought this was a really good match. Roosh is the fucking man. Let me tell you, that guy is a badass. He hits hard. He doesn't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, he literally threw Jungle Boy just out of the ring.
Yeah, he fucking just dominated him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and it took that roll uppy stuff at the end to kind of really snag one from him. But
while I really enjoyed this match, I don't think it helped in making Jungle Boy heated up or look good for this pay-per-view match. So I don't.
Roosh came out as the star for sure.
I know. Yeah, Roosh, like I said, he dominated him. He looked awesome. And Jungle Boy just survived barely. So I don't really agree with the booking here. I think, if you wanted to give Jungle Boy a tune-up match, don't give him Roosh.
Right? Yeah.
Roosh is a bad, bad man. And even
Preston Vance,
Yeah. Or anyone else who's not Roosh.
Well, offensive Preston Vance, but
how about fucking Bandito? Like, I love Bandito, but he's not Roosh. You know?
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, loved the match. I mean, for what the match was, for the 10 minutes, I really, really liked it. But like I said, I think it was not the right call. Bo, your thoughts?
Yeah, that's just, kind of, like it kind of had that weird finish where it did make kind of Jungle Boy just kind of not look great. Like I said, he got dominated. And then he kind of had to have the help of the other like two pillars kind of at the end, because Roosh, like after that roll up pin, just got back up and just started just beating the crap out of him.
Oh,
So
yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even that kind of post match stuff really just kind of made him look not so great. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that's an interesting choice. But yeah, I think the match in and of itself again was exciting by virtue of it being a showcase for Roosh.
Absolutely. Then we had Renee Paquette ask MJF about the title match, and he kind of paused and just hit the microphone out of her hand and left. I thought this was pretty tight.
I did too.
Yeah, no, I thought this was pretty tight, pretty sudden too. That was a pretty violent smack.
And probably the first time ever MJF has not had words.
Yeah.
So I like it. He's they're in his head to some degree. So we talked a lot about it earlier. We're all really enjoying this build, and I thought this was just a nice little piece here.
Yes.
So next we got a match that I wasn't necessarily wanting to see on Dynamite, and kind of figured it would be a fuck finish, and it was, because I think this is a very pay-per-view worthy match, and Jay White is a fucking star and needs to be treated as such, and he hasn't really been yet. But Jay White defeats Ricky Starks by DQ in 12 minutes, 18 seconds. I really, really did enjoy this, and I'm glad it was not a clean finish, because this should be on the pay-per-view and Jay White should win. But damn, this was pretty tight. They fucking went at it. And again, I think we got to get the pay-per-view match out of it. I mean, even though Tony Khan did like post a graphic on Instagram today with the 8 matches. So I don't know. I feel like this has to be added though.
Right.
Diesel, what are your thoughts? First off, what are your thoughts on Jay White? I mean, I'm a big New Japan guy. I love him. I think he's a very unique, one-of-a-kind wrestler who's as good as in-ring shit talk and getting in your opponent's heads as any. But he's still new in AEW. I think Ricky is a good first feud for him if he wins. But then it's like we want Ricky on the upward trajectory too. So I don't know. What do you think, Dees?
It's very, very weird. It's very weird for him and Ricky Starks. Like it feels like a filler feud, and like you don't need that for Jay White's first feud. Yeah. Ricky Starks was on fire a while ago, and now he's kind of like
cooled off a little.
Yeah, he's cooled off a bit. And
yeah,
I don't know. They're not doing a very good job of explaining who Jay White actually is.
I totally agree. Like they should have had some vignettes, some videos, like showing him beating Okada. All this big shit that he did.
Who he is because we've seen him wrestle.
Because we're New Japan fans, but
exactly.
like Bo,
doesn't
really.
You
know who he is, but you haven't really
I know what he's all about, but yeah, not in like an AEW setting, with big story and all this amped up stuff, and Ricky Starks is a good person to put him against, but yeah, it did have kind of the feeling of it being just sort of a filler thing, and I guess you can't really inject him into a storyline that's going to have like championship implications just yet, but yeah, it seems like. Yeah, this just was at an odd place at an odd time, and you have the DQ finish, so it did feel like treading water a little bit narratively.
I don't know. I guess one criticism I had with like Juice Robinson, they did the same thing to him when he like debuted with AEW. They didn't explain like who he was, and now he's just this guy like feuding with Ricky Starks. And I don't know. I mean, you have a little bit more like exposure of Jay White because he was there last summer for Forbidden Door, but when he was there last summer, they were like showcasing him as being like the guy. Now he's just on the card, basically. He's not anywhere near the guy. I don't know. It's a weird scenario.
Yeah, and Diesel, I agree with what you were saying. Like, if you are an AEW fan and you don't watch New Japan, you know who Jay White is. Like you said, he's been around a little bit. He is a big star, but yeah, you don't know what he's all about. You don't, yeah, they can tell you he was a former IWGP champ, but what does that mean? You got to show him. Show some footage. I mean, you're partners with New Japan. You can get that footage. And yeah, I agree with Juice too. Obviously, he's not at the level of Jay, but he had a lot of success and was a multi-time U.S. champ over there. Oh, which is currently held by an AEW star. You've got that. It's there. Tell the story. Sorry, I'm frustrated that Kenny, one, has never gone back to Japan to defend that belt. He only defended it against Jeff Cobb here, and I was there, which was cool. But, like, they don't talk about that ever, that he's U.S. champ. I mean, he'll bring the belt down every once in a while, but, like, Juice Robinson, Jay White, both former U.S. champs, actually had an incredible match against each other when Juice won it at New Japan's first show in America in 2019. I know I mentioned JCB. It's the match that got him into New Japan. It was incredible. I know I'm just on a tangent here, but yeah, I just want this is why I wanted Jay White to go to WWE. Is it would have been different. It would have been new. Like, we've seen him in AEW. We know guys can get lost on this roster. We'll see what happens when Collision comes out. I'm hoping for the best for sure.
On the same wavelength of that, for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. Jay White is too good to just be treading water. You got to put a focus on this guy, but it's tough when you've got a roster this loaded, but 2 more hours of TV time. I mean, hopefully Collision doesn't just become a 2-hour Rampage, which I don't even watch anymore. I mean, I'll probably watch 1 Rampage a month, maybe.
I haven't watched the only Rampages I've watched in the last 2 years were when I was there live.
Yeah.
Like, it's not worth it.
I mean, I'll check Cage Match, and if there's like a pretty decently rated match, or if I know there's something going in, they'll have a bigger match occasionally. But yeah, I'm kind of off Rampage.
It's supplemental, it's not, essential.
For sure. And well, now they got rid of Dark and Elevation, so maybe Rampage will kind of become that.
What's
like
the
more
rumor? And
younger talent.
Like a semi-brand split kind of thing they're rumored to do. So I do think that Collision's going to be more of a the
guys who don't get along with the rest of the roster.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, but I think it's going to be like main feuds. It's going to be a main roster show
for
like
sure. That's what I'm saying. I hope that's what it remains.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, it's AEW, so we'll see.
Yeah. But let's say they do this split, make Jay White your top heel on one of them, or at least number 2. But I mean, the guy's one of the best fucking heels in the business in the last 6 years, period. Along with MJF, Tommaso Ciampa, when he had that run in NXT, was incredible. I mean, Gunther, you got to put up there now. I guess Roman too. But anywho, Jay White, I can't say enough good things about the guy. But you got to give him the right opportunity and platform for him to do his thing, because he's not like an Okada or prodigy like that, Shingo, that'll just walk in and just wow you with their incredible wrestling. Jay White is an amazing wrestler, but it's the character work for him. It's that psychological warfare that makes him so great. And we just haven't really seen that yet in AEW, and I want to. End rant. Okay. So we end the show with, a big piece of intrigue here. What is Dan Callis gonna say? Yeah, hit watch part 2. We got to work that. Or I guess we can make a new sound effect since Moxley isn't involved. Well, I guess he is, but it's really Kenny and Don. Anywho, we have Dan Callis come out with security, and he says that he is the victim here because he carried Omega to everything in his career, and Omega, and then the Blackpool Combat Club comes out.
Oh, Omega comes out, and then.
Well, yeah, he came out first.
He came out,
and he basically got jumped, right? You just watched it, so
yeah. I mean, Kenny Omega came out with all the security there, and then the security kind of did their little like human fence thing, and then Dan Callis was gone. You know, you didn't hear any more from him, so I imagine you'll get the real why at Double or Nothing. I mean,
maybe this week we'll hear more.
You know, if they didn't reveal it today, you know, I feel like they're going to kind of drag it out and make the big reveal something more grand than just, hey, a week later we're going to let people know what's going on, especially if, you know, the information was withheld. You know,
so we talked last week about the Takeshita piece in this. You know, he hasn't been seen since this all happened. He was actively being mentored by Dan Callis. And we talked about our friend Dan Bakley, Cage My IQ, you know, bringing up the thought of Callis bringing Takeshita to the Blackpool Combat Club side eventually. Like maybe that's what happens at Double or Nothing. Maybe somehow in the Anarchy in the Arena match, Takeshita turns and helps BCC win. And then this would ultimately bring Kota Ibushi in. Again, this is all speculation, but Kota Ibushi was already in a faction called the Golden Elite with Kenny and the Young Bucks in New Japan when Kenny won the IWGP Championship in 2018. So the history exists. Hangman, you know, was part of that, but it was really those four, but he was still around it. And obviously he's back now, which is very exciting, with his eye patch, which is badass.
It is badass. It looked good leather, like that brown leather. Yeah.
But cool. Yeah, you're right, but we didn't get any explanation here, but we got Hangman come back. You know, clearly something's going to happen this week. I mean, there'll be promos or a fight, I'm sure, kind of last build to the match, but yeah, I think maybe we do see something at Double or Nothing, whether it be Takeshita or something else. I don't know. Maybe Ibushi does come. Who the fuck knows? But anyway, the match is going to be very, very awesome.
Yes.
Diesel, what are your thoughts on kind of the storyline, the scenario, and what do you think about Takeshita? You know, what is his role, if any, going to be in this feud?
Well, I mean, I'm intrigued with the Takeshita stuff, but for me, I'm in the minority. I have not really been into this feud.
Oh, wow.
I'm down on the Elite. I don't know. Ever since they've come back from suspension and they just kind of like the best of 7 was great, like match wise and stuff like that. It just, I don't know. It's been down on the Elite, and I'm not really a big fan of Jon Moxley anymore. He's the same. Every promo is the same. Every match is the same. It's boring to me. Jon Moxley has been boring to me. So I don't know. This whole
Whoa. No, I'm kidding. You're fine.
No, I mean, I like the little like pieces with the Dan Callis like turning and like all the little stuff that's going, but like as a whole, I'm not into either of these factions. Ever since William Regal's left AEW, the BCC isn't or the whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. Blackpool Combat Club hasn't been as entertaining to me.
I would agree with that until they turned heel recently. I've really been enjoying this heel, like we are not fucking around, we are just going to fuck you up.
I don't know. I'm just not into Moxley. Out of our way. That's why I can't totally buy into them. Like,
well, I love Moxley, so obviously
I used to. It's just I don't know. I'm just down on him right now. I don't know what it is.
Admittedly, I mean, he carried the fucking company in 2020 and 2022 largely.
He needs to take that damn vacation that he was supposed to take like last year.
I know.
Like if he went away for a little bit, like I'm sure like when he came back, I'd be like when he went to rehab and he came back, I was all about Jon Moxley then, you know, but I don't know, it's just the same every single week, same promo, same match. He bleeds. Like he doesn't even have to have a match and he bleeds. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly not been at the level this year that he was last year. But again, he's been out of the title picture. But I'm not going to say a bad thing about Jon. And I'm really enjoying what's going on here. But I certainly understand and respect your opinion.
I do like the eye patch, though. I'm not going to like.
I do like, yeah. It's very, very tough guy shit. And he also went back to his old music as well.
Yeah, well, that was just like a maybe 2-time thing that he had that other one. But well, so Diesel, did you not enjoy the Hangman Moxley feud? Because I thought it was fucking great.
No, I mean,
because that was like the first like few months, I would say, since Revolution.
I enjoyed the matches. I wasn't really into like the build.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, the promos, like, promos didn't hook me, but the matches were great. Like, I know I'm gonna love the Anarchy in the Arena match. I know that it's definitely gonna be awesome. The last one was awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully they play Moxley's music for 5 minutes again in the beginning.
No, I really hope they don't. But
I thought that was fucking hilarious.
So I know the match is gonna end up great because I know, like, because the Elite were in the Stadium Stampede stuff, so it's gonna be a good match. It's just I don't know. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega had just kind of been babies. That's how I feel. I mean, that's at least that's what the narrative is, kind of like what everyone's, at least in my eyes. So maybe I'm stirring that narrative. I don't know, but
it's okay. No, I mean, and again, since the trios tournament final, like, yeah, the Young Bucks, well, they got hurt a little bit. Yeah, they haven't really been of much substance. And yeah, Kenny too, like I was just saying, is the United States champion in New Japan and has defended the belt once. We want to see this guy fucking wrestle. I know he's obvious, he's on the back nine of his career and he's been public about that he, he doesn't have much time left. So I get, wanting to kind of rest or not fire him out in these big matches over and over. But like, I just want to fucking see the guy because he's still, I mean, the Ospreay match proved it. The guy is still one of the best, if not, I mean, I'm not going to say he's the best, but he is one of the best in the world still today, even after taking that time off. We just haven't really seen him go at that level since the Ospreay match, really. I mean, I can't really think of any, like, he obviously had the Jeff Cobb match. Here, let me just pull up his cage match real quick. But, like, I can't think of any, like, high-profile, great performances he's had since that Ospreay match, which I've been on record, I think is one of the 10 best matches ever. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, in fact, Vikingo, that's the one match, which I think was a touch overrated. I went 4 3/4 stars. I didn't think it was a 5-star match, but it was amazing. I mean, it was a complete spot fest.
Dynamite, though.
Yeah. But they had incredible chemistry. It's like, if you want to make Vikingo a star, this is the guy to put him up against. And he certainly had, like, he was already a star in Mexico, but now he's been on Dynamite a lot. He's been on ROH a lot. He's having really good matches because he's very unique talent. So I had forgotten about that. Kenny got his ass over like wildfire, that's for sure. But yeah, the only 2 singles matches he's had since Wrestle Kingdom is Vikingo and Jeff Cobb. So I'm fortunate I was able to see one of them live, but and then obviously the Moxley match last week, of course, too, the cage match, which was fucking great. What do you think about that one, Diesel, that cage match?
I mean, obviously it was a good match. It was a cage match. Like, that was 2 weeks ago. Now you're making me think even harder. Like, I really liked the match. I mean, I knew the finish was coming. I knew that Dan Callis was going to turn.
You know it all.
Yeah, you know it all. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
The prediction.
I did not see that coming at all.
You didn't.
I would have seen the Cole thing in the Jericho match, which I also didn't see, but that I would have. This was a pretty big surprise to me.
I don't know. I felt it coming. It felt weird. It kind of.
You must be clairvoyant or something. If you just,
I've just watched a lot of wrestling, and
so have I. But I guess just real quick, I'm just not really a big like fantasy booker, look ahead type. Like I'm like Tim King is that, and he's so good at kind of like calling things that'll happen, as you seem to be right now as well. But like
when I'm alone with my thoughts, that's what's going on in my head a lot of the time.
See,
I'm thinking about wrestling and like what's going to happen next. See, like I have like ahead. WWE and AEW booked out like in my own mind.
Yeah.
So like whatever, and it never goes to my plan, and
that's how Tim is too. And that's just not how my mind necessarily is with wrestling right now, because I just watch so much of it and so many fucking promotions that I'm following and obsessed with my match ratings and spreadsheet and all that. So for me, it's like, what's the next great match coming up, or what can I find as opposed of because it's so many promotions that
Trust
I'm
me,
in
it's
the
a curse because
in
like
the weeds,
I have like
deep
plans
in
of
the
my
fucking
own,
weeds. Yeah,
what I want to
yeah.
see happen, and it doesn't happen, and it kind of makes some matches or match endings a little less enjoyable because like I wanted to go the other way, and because I had ideas of where it could have gone, like in the future if it would have went my way. But yeah, so it's a curse. It's
Yeah,
not
I
a
mean,
gift.
I still fantasy book a little. I mean, everyone does, but it's not always like top of my mind. Like that's what I'm always thinking about because it's just more like I'm just obsessed with the actual wrestling.
Nope, that's what I'm always thinking about. I'm all
But
about the
yeah,
story.
yeah, and I feel like more people are that. You know, I've just gotten crazy fucking loser obsessed with rating matches and being a fucking lunatic about it. So that's where I am. But anyway, I thought this was a fucking great show, as I said
agree.
from the top. And we are hot on the road to Double or Nothing. Let's just quickly fire through some predictions here. Let me pull the card up. One sec. But we will go down the line on Wikipedia again, and we're starting with the World Championship match. MJF versus Sammy versus Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin, AEW World Title 4-way. We talked about it earlier. I'm picking MJF, but if any of the other three are going to win, I hope and think it would be Darby, but I just don't see them taking the belt off MJF here.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Then we've got FTR versus Triple J. We didn't mention earlier that Mark Briscoe is the special guest referee, so that at least makes this a little more interesting than your standard tag match. Mark Briscoe, national fucking treasure, as Tom always says. Couldn't agree more. I actually listened to him on Jericho's podcast the other day, and it was fucking great. Got a little emotional for sure, talking about Jay. But a really, really good listen. Anyway, I'm going to stick with FTR here. I mean, let's not overthink it. I mean, Mark Briscoe, you know, he's kind of been in the middle because he and Jay Lethal are friends. And, you know, they had the segment at his house where they were all hunky-dory. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, the respect that he and FTR got through that series of matches kind of bonded them. And I just, you know, I don't see any shenanigans here. I just see I mean, there will be attempted shenanigans, of course, but I think FTR gets the job done. Bell, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think FTR gets the job done too. Yeah, I think with this match, you know, there will be definitely shenanigans, you know, with like Jeff with the Triple J. Also, Triple J makes me think it's like a 3-person team.
Yeah,
there's a third person in there, but yeah, no, it'll be FTR.
Diesel.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be FTR. I am interested though, like long term for FTR since they just signed that 4-year deal.
Yeah,
I want to see Dax have like a high profile like singles run. I legitimately think that he could be world champion.
He's amazing.
Like, he has the making of it. Like he can wrestle, he can cut a promo, he has the look. He's kind of like Stone Cold in a way. Like, yeah.
I mean, hell, we've seen him have a number of singles matches against a number of high-profile opponents, and they were all great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so sadly, Aussie Open, who has been on the mantle, currently is the best tag team in the world because FTR just hasn't been wrestling as much. Unfortunately, just vacated both sets of New Japan tag titles due to a Mark Davis injury, which fucking sucks because those guys have been on an absolute roll this year. So I kind of thought we would see that match again, which happened once in New Japan last year at their Royal Quest show in England, and it was amazing. And you know, they are the two best tag teams in the world, period.
In my opinion, they've already won best tag team of 2023.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah.
Even with having like probably the rest of the year off, they still won the award.
There's no one even close to them right now. I agree. So that is something I wanted to see that unfortunately we at least won't for a little while. But yeah, I agree. What is going to be next for FTR? Hopefully they can get this tag division going again and with them as champs because their first run was like 80 days. And, you know, they've grown so much since then, obviously, with the year they had last year. So let's put some more focus on this tag division now. I think we'd all love to see it. So number 3, we've got Wardlow and Christian in the ladder match for the TNT title. Taking Wardlow here. I mean, we all talked about we think Luchasaurus is coming in the future. And again, Diesel, you mentioned ping pong or hot potatoing titles earlier. The TNT title's been a hot potato for like 2 fucking years, and it's bullshit. So at least I think Wardlow's going to win. Diesel, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Wardlow's going to win. I think there's going to be obviously Luchasaurus interference, but I think Arn Anderson is going to be why Wardlow wins. He's going to save him or something. So we're going to see Spinebuster for sure.
Hell yeah. Bo?
Yeah. No, Arn Anderson's going to shoot Luchasaurus and Wardlow.
He's going dinosaur hunting.
Yeah.
I assume you're taking Wardlow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there are 3 people listed here on the Blackjack Battle Royal in addition to Orange Cassidy. You ready? We've got Orange Cassidy versus Aaron Solo versus Powerhouse Hobbs versus QT Marshall. So the 3 QTV guys are the 3 confirmed participants here. And then it says versus 17 TBD competitors. I mean, of these 3, Hobbs, the guy could certainly be a contender to win. I don't think he will, but, I don't even know off the top of my head, who's going to be in this. I don't even feel like it's late. But I'm going to pick Orange Cassidy in the scenario we already talked through, like him winning this and then losing it either following Dynamite or maybe the next week, but soon after. Bo, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll go with Orange too. Yeah, same rationale.
He's going to lose it to Miro. That's what I'm calling.
Oh, yes.
But I think Miro's going to be the one to take it from him.
Either that or Miro ultimately takes the TNT title from Wardlow. Because remember, it was like the God's championship thing. Like he comes back and he was the Redeemer. So like he gets the championship that he lost. Mm-hmm. I'd almost rather see that, but him as the international champ, I'm fine with that too. Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm should be very, very good. I'm going to stick with Jamie Hayter here. I like Tony. We talked, the storyline isn't the greatest right now, but we know she can go in the ring. I expect this to be very good yet again, but I'm picking Jamie here. I think there's still some juice left in this run. Bo?
Yeah, let's go with Jamie. I mean, I don't think, she hasn't had too many like big pay-per-view title defenses, I feel like, and this one seems, I mean, it's a rematch, right? It's who she won the title
full
off
gear.
of.
So 6-7 months ago. At this point,
so I don't think it's just going to cycle back to Tony Storm. That would be more of the unfortunate same. So yeah, I think, best version of this is Jamie, and I will take Jamie.
Yeah, I agree with Jamie Hayter because, like, looking ahead, where would they go if Tony won it? Like, we haven't had the Jamie Hayter versus Britt Baker match yet, and that has to happen.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I think that still could be a little bit down the line, but yeah, that is coming at some point. All right, Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite, Anarchy in the Arena. I'm gonna go with BCC with the Takeshita theory, and I think they will win. Takeshita will join them, and Kota Ibushi will join the Elite eventually for a blood and guts match. That is there's my fantasy booking for you, Diesel. That's what I want to happen. What do you think?
I would be 100% okay with that. I'm not going to lie. That sounds pretty good for a blood and guts match. So I also have Blackpool Combat Club winning this match because it just doesn't make sense for the Elite to win.
Yeah. Give the heels the win. Bo, what do you think?
I agree. I think Blackpool Combat Club is going to kind of sneak this one out, and I think the Dan Callis stuff is going to manifest here.
Seems like as we're running through it and only 3 left, pretty predictable show. So I got to think, they're going to swerve us with one of these here. I think we've agreed on every pick. So
yeah, we have.
So that's something to keep in mind. Here's the fart match. Here's the Beaumont Rand classic of the night. Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie for the TBS title. Bring out the fart machine for this one, boys. Bo, who you got?
Omos.
Okay, Diesel.
I mean, god damn. I have no idea. Like,
who cares?
They're going to take it. That's what I feel like.
Yeah. I
Don't
could
really
not care less about this match. But I'm picking Jade because obviously.
Since we've had 100% same picks, I'm going to go with Taya, or as Chad Rojas called her to her face, Tessa.
Rojas gonna Rojas, baby. I mean, I could see Taya winning for sure.
John Morrison had to correct him. It was hilarious.
That's great. But I just feel like, again, Chris Statlander is going to be the one to take that off. Jade is. So listen to me, fantasy booking all over the fucking place. But
I would be fine with that.
So, but yeah, I'm picking Jade. Bo, thoughts?
I mean, I guess it really.
I guess you said Omos.
Yeah. So I mean, but
My
in all
bad.
reality, I mean, if we need a real pick, Jade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's a match I didn't even know until I saw something on like Twitter or Instagram. Ethan Page and the Guns against the Hardy Party, which is Isaiah Cassidy, Jeff Hardy, and Matt Hardy. And if Hardy Party wins, Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract.
Oh,
okay.
Nice stipulation.
I did also see that Isaiah Cassidy is hurt and may not be able to compete. So who knows? I don't really care about this match. I think it could be entertaining, maybe. I mean, I really like Ethan Page. I think the Guns are fun, for who they are. I don't think they should be champs, but I think they're a legitimate tag team.
I mean, this match should be on Rampage.
Yeah. The last two should be.
Right, yeah.
I feel like Jade is only on Rampage these days. So, I mean, I'll take the Hardy Party. I don't really give a shit. I don't like Jeff Hardy. I don't want to say that. He's fine. I'm just tired of really seeing the Hardys, just retire.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sadly, I agree. But it's gonna be the Hardy Party.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just go Ethan Page and the Guns.
Hell yeah. That's who I would want to see.
Yeah.
And then the last match, I forgot it was an unsanctioned match, so I think that'll make it better. But Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho. I'm taking Adam Cole. I think.
Yeah.
It's got Adam Cole written all fucking over it.
Yeah, big like comeback pay-per-view match makes perfect sense. Adam Cole.
Yep. Well, shit. Coming in at the buzzer here, Cage My IQ. We referenced you earlier and your Takeshita theory, so I don't know if you caught it, but we gave you props, and we all agree that it's a good way to go. But he says the Hardys will win to give Ethan's contract to the Hardys. So, anywho, I think that's it here. Anyone, Diesel, you want to plug some shit here?
You can follow me on Twitter at Diesel_VFTR. We just had a new episode of View from the Top of the Goalpost come out like 2 weeks ago. It was our way too early prediction, so you can hear we're dumb. Our picks, I can't after we were done and I was looking at our picks, I can't believe some of the picks that we made. Like obviously I have the Packers in the playoffs. I mean,
did you pick the Bengals to win the Super Bowl?
It's wacky.
No, I actually have them losing to the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Okay. I mean, that feels like a pretty popular Eagles Bengals Super Bowl pick.
I don't know. I just think the Eagles they got even better than they got.
They're loaded.
Year. But so we just released one of those. We were gonna record this Wednesday, but instead of recording, we're gonna drive 3.5 hours north to go to the Upper Peninsula to hit up a dispensary in Michigan. So
yeah. Say hello to Joe Perry.
No, we're at Marquette.
No, Iron Mountain.
Iron Mountain. Okay, gotcha.
So we're gonna take a trip, and we're planning on coming out with new stuff soon. We were gonna do a review of the Best of the Super Juniors, but then I just couldn't keep up. So we'll have new content very, very soon. So follow us on Visionaries Global Media, at Viz Global Media on Twitter, and
And we never, ever plug our own shit.
No,
so
never,
I'll do that
ever.
here. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Brainbuster Boys, even though I haven't put anything on Instagram in 2 weeks because I'm just bad at consistency. But follow us. And the Phoenix Splash podcast, which you can find here on Visionaries Global Media. Me and JCB from the Band from Ringside podcast talking all things Japanese wrestling. So we will have a full Best of Super Juniors recap on our next episode, which will likely be early next week. But and I guess you can check my writing out on the bloodlinenetwork.com. I just put out my top 25 matches of the first trimester, so through April of this year. That was a fun one to put together. Big surprise, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay was number one by a pretty wide margin. So but yeah, Diesel, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
I know
man.
this was very impromptu,
yeah.
but this was a ton of fun. Yeah, we'll have to do it again.
Fun. I haven't been able to flex my wrestling brain muscles in a while since we haven't been
you
recording
flexed them,
so.
You flexed them, baby.
It always feels good. It always feels good to talk wrestling.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, Bo, anything final from you before we pull the plug?
Not in particular. But yeah, no, excited for the build for Double or Nothing for sure.
Yeah,
Cool.
I guess I should be off this Sunday. I won't know till our schedule comes out Thursday, but I presume we'll probably be getting a group together to watch it, I would think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Addie just walked in the door, and I just realized that this was a Ross-free, 2.5 hours we've been here. He did not even come out or bark once. So how about that?
I heard him.
Ross is my roommate's dog, Diesel. He's tight, but he can be a little barky sometimes. Oh, yeah, you remember I moved downstairs the last time we recorded, and my mic wasn't fucking working because it got unplugged, and I'm like, oh, shit. So, anywho. Again, thank you for coming. This was a lot of fun. Looking forward to Double or Nothing.
Thank you for having me.
Sunday.
Yeah, of course, buddy. Yeah, always pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, we will talk to you soon. And until then, good night.
Adieu.
Goodbye. See ya.